I wanted to say something about debugging. You'll have already done a little debugging, I think, by now. So these are really a few words of encouragement. You'll have already noticed, I think, that when you've crashed a macro, when a macro has crashed, that Excel is quite helpful in pointing out where the error has occurred, and you get lines highlighted in yellow, which draws your attention immediately to where there is a problem, and that's quite very helpful. Excel is also very helpful at preventing you from entering incorrect syntax. Now the syntax is kind of the structure of the line itself, so you won't be able to use words that don't mean anything if it's a command or if it's an object, an Excel object or VBA object, and that's really helpful. Of course, sometimes you can put something in and Excel actually thinks this must be a variable, so sometimes it can accept any word in the text there. But most of the time it does help you with that. And it's I think I've given this tip to you already before, but if you type everything in lowercase, then if Excel recognises it, it will change it to proper case, which is a great sign that you've managed to type something that Excel understands and the Visual Basic Editor understands. But if you're really having frustration in debugging your macro, it's probably to do with the logic of the macro. And the only word I can say of encouragement here is that it happens to all of us. The only thing you can really do is take a deep breath and go through the code one more time, looking at the code, and you can make notes as you go along what the value of various variables will be and which sheet or cell is active during the macro while it's running, and that might help you understand why the thing's crashing out. And of course, it's also almost worse when the macro doesn't crash out, it's run but just hasn't done what you expected it to do. And again, it's really taking a clear head and a bit of patience and just working it through line by line. Unfortunately, you'll probably find nobody else around you is sufficiently able in Visual Basic to check it out for you. If there was someone, that would be really helpful. Now the other tip that I can give you is in order to track the value of variables as you go through the macro. Particularly when you're looping and the value of the variable is changing, is to build one of these error messages, your own error message, which you can build as you go through the macro, and you can have it give the message to you as a message box when the macro crashes. I find that much quicker and easier to use than the Visual Basic's editor's own way of dealing with this. You can actually get the Visual Basic Editor to value certain variables, and if you want to do it that way, I'll let you go ahead and find out how that's done, because I recommend the other way. But good luck, keep going, you'll get there.